Please subscribe and like this video. It will really help our channel. Thank you. Most guys think a marriage breaks in one loud moment. One screaming match, one suitcase, one slammed door. That's the movie version. Real life is quieter and meaner. It breaks in small permissions. What you let slide, what you laugh off, what you explain away because you're tired and you've got a mortgage and Monday is coming. This story is about catching the shift early, when basic respect starts leaking out through little outbursts, cold silence, and a phone that suddenly matters more than the person sitting across the table. And it's about what happens when you stop negotiating for decency and start making adult moves. Clean boundaries, clear rules, and consequences that don't require a raised voice. Sunday morning, our kitchen in the suburbs outside Raleigh looked like a magazine spread. White cabinets, clean counters, coffee already made. The kind of house where neighbors wave and you're supposed to be grateful. Lauren was by the fridge, barefoot, hair up, doing that efficient little routine she'd done 1,000 times. I sat down with my plate, half on autopilot. "Lauren, can you pass the orange juice?" I didn't say it like a king. I didn't snap my fingers. It was a normal ask between two adults who share a life. She froze like I'd insulted her mother. As she grabbed the glass pitcher, heavy, cold, full, and threw it at the tile. It hit like a gunshot. Glass exploded. Orange juice sprayed the cabinet doors and the dishwasher. Shards slid under the table like little knives. Lauren stood there with her hands clenched, breathing hard, eyes wide like she was ready for round two. "I'm not your servant," she said. "Histoire de hair." "What?" "You heard me. I'm not your servant. You use me." I looked at the mess, then back at her. "It was juice. I asked you to pass juice." She laughed, one sharp, ugly sound. "See? That's you. It was juice. You always do that. You make everything small so you don't have to look at what you're doing." "What I'm doing," I repeated slow, "by asking for orange juice." "You don't see me," she snapped. "I'm like background noise in my own house. Every week it's bring this, get that. I do everything. That's not reality." I told her. "We both work. We both pay the bills. We both." I reached down to move a bigger piece of glass away from my foot, and my finger caught an edge. It sliced clean. Blood welled up fast, bright red against my skin. I held it up without thinking. Not dramatic, just normal human reflex. The silent question, "Are you seeing this?" Lauren looked at it like it was a stain on the counter. "No, are you okay?" "No, let me grab a towel." "Nothing." She tilted her head. "Cold. Clinical." "Our marriage is dead," she said, like she was reading a weather report. "And you don't even understand why." I blinked. "Lauren, I'm bleeding." "And I'm done," she fired back. "I'm done being ignored. I'm done being used. I'm done living next to someone who thinks I exist to function." I grabbed a paper towel myself and wrapped my finger. My voice stayed even because if I matched her energy, that's the trap. That's the headline she wants. Mark lost it. "Okay," I said. "So what do you want right now?" She scoffed. "Space." "Fine," he replied. "Take space. But don't pretend this started with orange juice." She grabbed her keys off the hook. "Anywhere," she said, stepping around the shards like she was the one who'd been wounded. "Anywhere but near you." The door shut. I stood in the kitchen with blood in a paper towel, juice on clean cabinets, glass on the floor, and this new, ugly thought settling in like dust. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have handled that morning very differently. I cleaned the glass the way I handle most problems, quietly, completely, no drama. Then I sat at the table and replayed her eyes. Not anger, not sadness, something else. A week earlier she'd been normal. Not perfect, nobody is but normal. Now she could watch me bleed and not even flinch. That wasn't a mood. That was a decision. So I did what I do when something's off at work. I look for patterns and I change variables. By Tuesday, I'd booked a short trip. Not Florida, not some big production. Charleston, then a couple days on Hilton Head. A place she used to love. A place where she used to soften. When I told her, I didn't pitch it like a plea. "We're going," I said that night, standing by the kitchen island while she scrolled her phone. Thursday after work. 2 nights. "We need air." She didn't look up. "We." I let the silence hang. "Yes, we. Unless you're saying you're not my wife anymore." That got her attention. She finally set the phone down, slow, like she was doing me a favor. Why are you trying to buy me off with a trip? She asked. I'm not buying you, I replied. I'm trying to get us out of this rut before it becomes the new normal. She smiled without warmth. You really think a cute little weekend fixes you? I think it forces us to talk, I said. And I think if you won't talk, that tells me what I need to know. Her eyes narrowed. So it's a test. It's information, I corrected. Big difference. She rolled her eyes, then shrugged. Fine. Whatever. On the drive down, she stayed on her phone. Thumb moving, little smiles that didn't belong to me. Every now and then she'd angle the screen away like she was guarding state secrets. I kept my eyes on the road. Who's making you grin like that? I asked casual. She didn't miss a beat. Maya. Your cousin Maya? I repeated. Yep. Did Maya suddenly become funny at 1 a.m. too? I asked. She sighed like I was the dumbest man alive. Do you hear yourself? I hear myself, I said. I also hear your phone buzzing like it's on payroll. She looked out the window. Can you not do this? I can do whatever I want, I replied. In my own car, on a trip, I plan to try to save whatever's left. That earned me a tiny smirk. You love saying things like that. My car. My trip. Like you're the boss. I'm not the boss, I said. I'm the guy who won't be treated like a roommate you tolerate. Charleston was sunny, pretty, full of couples pretending their lives were simple. Lauren walked next to me like we were co-workers at a conference. Polite distance. No touch. No words. At dinner, she picked at her food and checked her phone under the table. I leaned back. Put away. She looked up, annoyed. Excuse me. Put the phone away, I repeated. We're here for 2 days. If you can't be present for 2 days, we're wasting time. She laughed softly. God, you're intense. No, I said. I'm direct. You're used to vague men you can steer with a look. Her eyes flashed. Wow. So now you're insulting me. I'm describing what's happening. I answered. You're not in this with me. You're somewhere else. She set the phone down with a dramatic sigh. Happy. Not even close, I said. But keep going. That night, we stood on the balcony of the hotel. Ocean air, distant music, the perfect setting for someone who actually wanted to fix things. Lauren leaned on the railing and stared out like the ocean owed her something. I kept my hands in my pockets. Talk to me. She didn't turn. About what? You know exactly what, I said. The kitchen, the cold look, the phone, the way you act like I'm a problem you're forced to manage. She shrugged. Maybe you are. I nodded once. Okay, then why are we here? Silence. I watched her breathe, slow, measured, like she'd rehearsed this. I came for a sign, I said. Some proof that my wife is still in there. That this is stress, not whatever this is. Lauren finally faced me. Her expression wasn't angry. It was settled. I came to be sure, she said. I waited. Be sure of what? That I'm finished, she replied. That I don't want this anymore. There it was. Not a fight. A verdict. I held her gaze. So the trip wasn't to reconnect. She shook her head. No, it was to confirm what I already knew. I gave a short laugh. That is efficient. I'll give you that. She frowned. Don't do that. Don't act like you're above it. I'm above being dragged around like a ghost, I said. So tell me, what's the plan? You just float out? You keep living in my house while you confirm things? Her lips tightened. There you go, making it about the house. It is about the house, I replied. It's about the life, the mortgage, the reality you live inside while you talk about feelings like they're magic words. She stepped closer, voice low. You don't get it, Mark. You never got it. I get plenty, I said. I get that you're done. And I get that you want me to be the bad guy, so you can walk away clean. Her eyes flicked away. You always think you're so logical. I'm logical, I said. That's why I'm not begging on a balcony. She stared at me a second, then her face softened. Just a little. That old familiar look. I don't want to hurt you, she said quietly. There it was, the first little softening. The gentle voice. The almost kind eyes. The moment that makes a man think, maybe she's human again. I didn't bite. Then stop, I said. Stop doing what hurts. Start acting like a wife, or stop taking the benefits of being one. She swallowed. I need time. You've had time, I replied. What you need is permission, and you're not getting it. She turned back to the ocean. We went home 2 days later, and nothing improved. If anything, she got bolder. Like the balcony conversation gave her confidence. In our house outside Raleigh, she began disappearing without leaving the house. She'd sit on the couch with her phone angled away, smiling at it like it whispered secrets. She'd step into the laundry room to take a call. She'd fall asleep on the guest bed with the door shut. One night, I walked past and heard her laugh. Not the polite laugh she gave me, the real laugh. I paused at the doorway. That must be some cousin. She didn't even look up. Natalie. Now it's Natalie, I said. Your family is suddenly hilarious. She snapped her eyes to me. Can you stop interrogating me? I'm asking a basic question, I replied. Who are you talking to all day and night? She sat up defensive. Why do you need to know? You don't own me. I'm your husband, I said. Not some naive guy you can feed lines to. Her face hardened. There it is. Control. You can't help yourself. Control. I echoed. Lauren, you disappeared emotionally. You announced you're finished on a balcony. And now you're giggling into a phone like you're 16. If you want freedom, take it. But don't stand in my living room and act shocked that I notice. She stood fast, like she'd been waiting for this cue. I don't owe you explanations, she said. I don't owe you access. I don't owe you anything. That's a bold line for someone living under the same roof, I replied. She walked past me toward her bedroom. I followed, not chasing, walking steady. If you're done, say it. If you're staying, act like it. I don't do limbo. She yanked open the closet and grabbed a suitcase. My eyebrows lifted. So that's the move. She started throwing clothes in, quick, practiced, like she'd packed this suitcase in her head 100 times. You're being dramatic, she shot back. I leaned on the doorframe. No, you're being prepared. She didn't slow down. I'm leaving because you make this house miserable. You're leaving because you already had somewhere to go, I said. And you're mad I'm not playing dumb. She zipped the suitcase hard. I'm going where it's not like this. Where's that? I asked. She hoisted the bag. Somewhere peaceful. Name it, I said. She walked past me without answering. I didn't block her. I didn't grab her arm. I didn't do the whole tragic husband routine. I just said, loud enough for her to hear the door, if you walk out like this, no plan, no truth, you don't get to stroll back in and act surprised by consequences. She paused half a second. Then the door closed. Her calls went to voicemail. Her texts stayed unread. My house got quiet in a way that felt unnatural, like a room after a fight. I worked, went to the gym, cooked for one, paid bills, and let the silence do what silence does. It tells you what's real. A week later, there was a knock. I opened the door and found two women on my porch with tight faces and guilty eyes. Claire and Natalie, Lauren's cousins. Different personalities. Claire was the organized one, always trying to be polite, even when she had bad news. Natalie had a sharper edge, the kind of woman who talks fast when she's nervous. Mark, Claire started, hands twisting. Can we come in? I stepped aside. Sure. What's going on? They sat at my kitchen table, eyes flicking to the repaired cabinet where the juice had splashed. Like the house itself had a memory. Natalie exhaled. Lauren isn't answering us either. Claire nodded. We thought maybe she was with you. I gave a small, dry smile. No, she left. Somewhere peaceful. Natalie looked down, then pulled out her phone. We found out where she is. Claire slid a second phone across the table, like it was evidence. And we're sorry. On the screen was a photo. Lauren on a beach. Hair down. Sunglasses. Her arm around a man in his 40s, tan, smiling like he'd won something. The caption was loud and stupid. The kind of caption you write when you want the world to clap for you. My stomach didn't drop. It went cold. I tapped the screen once, like I was zooming in on a work document. Cancun. Natalie swallowed. Yeah. Claire's voice shook. Mark, it gets worse. I looked up. Go on. Claire hesitated. Natalie jumped in because that's her. She asked us for money, Natalie said. Before she left. I blinked. Money. Claire nodded, eyes wet. She said it was urgent. Medical. She said she needed it fast, and you're busy. She said she'd repay it after some payout. How much? I asked. Natalie didn't sugarcoat it. $5,000. From me. 5 from Claire. $10,000. I sat back. So she didn't just leave. She funded the exit. Claire rubbed her forehead. We didn't know. We thought. She sounded scared. Natalie's jaw clenched. And now she's posting beach photos like a teenager. I stared at the photo again. Not because I wanted to, because I wanted to lock it into my brain the same way you remember a license plate after a hit and run. Claire reached out. Mark, we didn't come here to hurt you. We came because we realized she played all of us. And you deserve to know what you're dealing with. I nodded slowly. Thank you for bringing facts. Most people bring opinions. Natalie looked at me hard. What are you going to do? I didn't answer right away because I wasn't going to perform. I wasn't going to give them a speech. I stood up, walked to the drawer, and pulled out a notepad. I'm going to protect my house and my future, I said. And I'm going to do it calmly. Claire blinked. Ow! Paperwork, I said. Inventory. Accounts. Clear boundaries. Natalie leaned forward. We can help. Not legally. Just, we know what she told us, what she asked for, what she did. I gave them a look. You sure you want to be involved? Claire nodded. She lied to us too. Natalie's voice sharpened. And I'm not letting her walk back in and spin this like you were the problem. So we spent the next hour being adults. Lists. Documents. What was joint? What was mine? What needed to be frozen? What needed to be recorded? No dramatic music. Just the boring stuff that saves you later. When they left, Claire paused at the door. Mark, she said softly. You've always been good to her. I held her gaze. I was good. She wanted obedient. Natalie gave a grim little smile. She's about to learn the difference. A month passed. No apology. No explanation. Just a few random texts from Lauren like nothing had happened. Missed you. Hope you're okay. We should talk. I didn't answer. Not because I was playing games. Because my rules were already set, and I don't negotiate with someone who disappears and then reappears when it's convenient. Then one afternoon, I heard a key in the lock. The door opened. Lauren walked in like she still owned the air. She had a tan, new nails, a big tote bag on her shoulder. And that smile, light, casual, confident. Hey, she said, drawing the word out. Miss me? At my kitchen table sat Claire and Natalie. In front of them were folders. Notes. Neat stacks of paper. Lauren stopped mid-step. Her eyes flicked from them to the folders to me. For half a second, her face cracked. Not sadness. Not guilt. Fear, small and quick. Then she tried to recover. Seriously, she said, voice sharp. You invited my cousins over? That's sad. Natalie didn't even let her warm up. Load in. Claire's tone was controlled. Where have you been? Lauren's eyes cut to Claire. That's none of your business. Natalie laughed without humor. Funny. Your hand in my wallet felt like my business. Lauren's head snapped. Excuse me? I stood up slowly. No ruse. No anger. Just the movement of a man ending something. Lauren, I said, this isn't your house right now. She scoffed, trying to pull power back. Oh my God. Listen to you. I walked to the front door and opened it. Out, I said. Right now. Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked at the cousins, searching for sympathy. None came. She stepped toward me, lowering her voice like she was about to switch tactics. Mark, don't do this. We can talk. You had a month to talk, I replied. You chose beaches and silence. This is what you get. She hissed. You're humiliating me. I raised an eyebrow. In my own home? Interesting math. Claire stood too, voice trembling but firm. Lauren, you lied. To us. To him. Just stop. Lauren's eyes narrowed. Oh, so you're on his side now. Natalie crossed her arms. There are no sides. There are facts. Lauren looked at me again, trying to charm her way through. That smile came back, smaller this time. Come on, she said. You missed me. Don't act tough in front of them. I didn't move. Walk out. Her face hardened. Fine. She stepped outside, still trying to keep dignity. Before I closed the door, she fired one last line. You're going to regret this. I smiled slightly. I already regret letting you in. Then I shut the door. Quiet. Final. No Islam. Just a click. 2 days later, the first change attempt came. My phone rang. Lauren's name. I answered because I like hearing what people try when their usual tricks stop working. Her voice came soft, almost sweet. Mark, I've been thinking. Impressive, I said. Keep going. She ignored the jab. I made mistakes. I was lost. I miss you. I miss us. I stayed silent. She added, quick, that trip. None of it was what I thought it would be. You're the best thing I had. I see that now. I'll let a beat pass. You see it now because your fun month ended. That's not fair, she protested. Why are you being like this? Because I don't recycle disrespect, I replied. When I throw something out of my life, it stays out. Her voice sharpened. So that's it? After everything. After everything you chose, I corrected. Yes. Mark, I ended the call. No speech. No debate. That's the point of boundaries. They don't need to be defended every time someone dislikes them. A week later, she tried version 2, bigger stage, more pressure. I was at work when the receptionist buzzed me. Mark, there's a woman here with food. She says she's your wife. I almost laughed. Of course she does. I walked to the lobby, and there she was, dressed like a magazine ad. Hair perfect, smile bright. A container of homemade-looking food in her hands like she'd just stepped out of a warm, happy life. She spotted me and lit up, loud enough for people to hear. Babe, I made you lunch. A couple co-workers glanced over. One of them, Derek, my project lead, raised his eyebrows like he'd stumbled into a reality show. Lauren stepped forward, trying to put on a performance. I kept my voice calm. What are you doing here? Her smile held. Trying to take care of my husband. Is that a crime? I looked at the food, then at her. You disappear for a month, ignore calls, show up with lunch, and you think that resets reality? Her smile wobbled just a fraction. She lowered her voice. Not here, Mark. Don't do this here. Oh, now you want privacy, I replied. Interesting. Derek wandered closer, not to be nosy. He's just the kind of guy who doesn't miss things. Lauren angled her body, trying to block him, still smiling. Mark, please. Let's just talk. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I just spoke facts in a normal tone. You left without a conversation, I said. You went on a trip with someone else. You borrowed money from your cousins under a fake emergency. You came back and asked Miss Me like it was cute. And now you're here with lunch like you're the wife of the year. Her face went pale. She hissed, You're embarrassing me. I shrugged. You did that yourself. Derek cleared his throat, awkward. Everything okay, Mark? I nodded. Yeah, just setting a boundary. Lauren's eyes flared. You can't talk about our marriage at your job. I can talk about whatever shows up in my lobby, I replied. Then I turned to the receptionist. Please note, she's not allowed in here anymore. If she comes again, you don't call me. You call building security. Lauren's jaw dropped. Are you serious? As a heart attack, I said. You don't get access to my life because you brought a casserole. Her hands tightened on the container. You're being cruel. No, I'm being consistent. She looked around, realizing the eyes on her weren't admiring. They were confused. Some were annoyed. Nobody was applauding her little scene. She leaned in, voice low and sharp. You're going to be sorry. I offered a thin smile. You already used that line at the door. Still not working. She turned and walked out, heels clicking fast like anger could hold her up. That afternoon, Natalie texted me. She came to my place screaming. Don't worry. I shut it down. Claire texted too, softer. Proud of you. Stay steady. And that's where the unexpected part started. A few days later, Claire asked if I could help her move a heavy bookshelf. Her husband had left years ago, and she didn't like asking family for favors because it always turned into a lecture. That was Claire, quiet pride. I showed up, lifted the shelf, tightened a few screws, kept it simple. When we finished, she offered me water, and we sat on her porch. No flirting, no weirdness, just two adults talking like adults. Then she said, Careful, I've always respected how you carry yourself. Ich glänze her. That sounds like the start of a speech. She let out a nervous laugh. Yeah, I guess it does. Say it straight. I told her. She took a breath. Lauren doesn't see what she had. I do. And I'm not saying that to get anything. I'm saying it because watching her treat you like that, it was disgusting. I nodded once. Appreciate that. Claire's eyes held mine. If you ever want company that doesn't come with games, I'd be open to dinner. Not tomorrow. Not as a rebound. Just someday. I leaned back. You're calmer than your cousin. She smiled slightly. I prefer peace. Peace is underrated, I said. I didn't jump into anything. I'm not 19. I know what impulsive looks like. But I also know what respect feels like when it's present. It feels boring in the best way. 2 months later, Claire and I had dinner. A normal restaurant in Raleigh. Good lighting. Quiet conversation. Nothing secretive. Nothing sloppy. Just a man moving forward and a woman who didn't treat him like an appliance. Halfway through, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it. Then I heard a voice behind me. Wow. I turned. Lauren stood there in the restaurant, eyes locked on Claire like she'd found the enemy in a video game. She looked thinner. Her tan was fading. Her confidence looked forced, like makeup on a bruise. She pointed at Claire. So this is what you do. You can't even wait. Claire's face stayed calm, but I saw the tension in her shoulders. I set my napkin down slowly. Lauren, don't. She laughed sharp. Don't what? Speak. Call out your little setup. I tilted my head. Setup. You mean me having dinner as a single man? You're not single, she snapped. You're still my husband. I looked at her like she'd said the sky was green. No, you left that behind. Remember? The balcony? I'm finished. Your words. Her eyes darted, searching for control. You're doing this to punish me. I gave a small, tired smile. Everything is about you, isn't it? Lauren stepped closer, lowering her voice like she was trying to make it intimate. Mark, we can fix this. You and me. Not this. She jerked her chin toward Claire. Claire stayed quiet. Smart move. Let Lauren burn her own oxygen. I stood up, not aggressive, just taller. This isn't about you anymore, I told Lauren. You don't get to rewrite the story because you don't like the ending. Her face tightened. She's using you. I almost laughed. Claire asked me for a bookshelf, not a bank transfer. Lauren's nostrils flared. You think you're so clever. I think I'm done, I replied. And you're going to leave. She glanced around. People were staring now, not in a fun way. In a please don't ruin our dinner way. Lauren leaned in and hissed. You're really going to choose her over me? I didn't flinch. I'm choosing myself. She just happens to be sitting at the table. Her eyes flashed with something close to panic. Mark, I cut her off with one clean line. Walk away with whatever pride you have left. She stood there, breathing hard, like she wanted a scene. But scenes only work when the other person participates. I didn't. After a long second, she turned and walked out, fast. Claire exhaled quiet. That was a lot. I sat back down. Yeah, saw the... She shook her head. Don't apologize. You handled it. I looked at her steady. That's the only way I handle disrespect now. Life after that got simpler. I refinanced into a clean split, kept the house, rebuilt my routines. Work improved because my mind wasn't clogged with daily tension. I bought a new truck, not flashy, just solid. Weekends became about friends and projects and sunlight, not walking on eggshells. Claire and I didn't rush. We took it slow, like adults who know the cost of chaos. She brought peace into my life, and I protected it like it mattered because it did. As for Lauren, I only heard pieces. She moved around, burned bridges. People stopped returning her calls. The cousins stopped sending money. The social posts got quieter. The confidence faded when there was no audience clapping. And the best part? None of that was my problem anymore. Here's the lesson I took from it. And it's simple enough to remember when your own kitchen turns into a battleground. First, respect doesn't vanish overnight. It leaks. That orange juice blow-up wasn't about juice. It was a test. The real signal wasn't the noise, it was the coldness. When someone can watch you bleed and feel nothing, you're not dealing with a bad mood. You're dealing with a person who's already stepped out of basic partnership. The mistake would have been chasing her, begging her to talk, and rewarding the disrespect with attention. Second, boundaries only work when they cost something. The moment Lauren tried to turn my questions into control, I didn't argue about labels. I changed access. I stopped living in limbo. When she walked out, I didn't run around town like a lost puppy. I handled logistics. I protected resources. I made sure the next time she showed up with a smile, she was walking into reality, not my emotions. Third, public pressure is a trick people use when private manipulation stops working. That lunch stunt at my job wasn't love. It was a stage. If I'd played along out of embarrassment, I would have handed her the steering wheel again. Instead, I stayed calm, told the truth, and closed the door. The biggest mistake in situations like this is trying to keep peace by swallowing facts. Peace built on denial isn't peace. It's just you volunteering to be managed. You don't need to scream to be strong. You need to be clear. You need to act. And once a person shows you they want benefits without respect, You don't negotiate. You remove access and you move forward. Please subscribe and like this video. It will really help our channel. Thank you.